Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. Anyway, I'm here with Jodi Serota, and she is one of the presenters at the upcoming Crystal Skull event. And Jodi, what is the thing about crystal skulls? Why should people be interested? Why are you interested in it?
For me, it's about, I've been told that my guidance has been that they're time capsules of consciousness that are ready to be found and awaken us to remember the truth of who we already are in relation to God consciousness, love, unity consciousness, bringing us into an alignment of recognizing and accepting the highest truths of who we are.
How can a skull do that? How does it actually work?
From my experience, this is my own perception, is that crystal grows in the ground, so it's connected to the earth, but it also has the power to connect to the sun and the stars and all of that. But the energy of these skulls comes from the connection to the earth, but the skulls also are in the same geometric configuration of our own skulls that our brains are engulfed in. And I feel like what it does is, from what I've been told, and the idea that it helps us to stay grounded at the same time as connecting to the higher dimensions. And if it's something that they are in that form, so that I was told from my own skull here, that the idea that when we find things that look like us, we get interested. So this is a 26,000 year cycle of awakening our consciousness. And these are just some of the ways that we can awaken. For me, I do light language as well, languages of light that help us remember our sense of being multidimensional, but first from the earth, before karmic patterning began, to be able to connect to the earth, but also to awaken to the higher realms, like the idea that the skulls are in the earth, but at the same time we're part of the earth, as well as many different star systems, planets.
No, that it's a tool. It's like using another piece of equipment to access higher consciousness. We're talking about this today because Jodi's going to be one of the speakers at the upcoming Crystal Skull Conference. If you see it right there, does that show up on your screen, Jodi?
Yes.
So it's this next week on October 26th, 27th. It's a Portal to Ascension event, and there's going to be some fantastic skulls there. Here's some presenters. Bill Holman, have you met the Mitchell Hedges skull that Bill has?
I have, yes. I went when it was with, I forgot her name, the woman that owned it
Oh yeah,
originally.
Mitchell Hedges, Mitchell.
Yeah, right.
And what did you feel from that skull? Because that's supposed to be one of the best skulls out there.
Well, it's a really beautiful piece. It's very clear. And I was expecting, when I went all the way to Canada to go find that woman so can I see this skull. And when I put my hands on it, it was completely different than putting my hands on this green jadeite skull. They have they're different. One is jadeite and one is clear quartz. So they have different properties. But what I found is that when I put my hands on that one, I actually saw little images of little spaceships and things like that inside the skull. This is my own experience. But I wasn't feeling all the stuff that happened when I saw Mack's The Ancient Crystal Skull, which I'll talk about at the conference. So, but I noticed when I was with my husband then, when we left, we're driving, all of a sudden we both felt like, it's almost like something came over us and we felt all this energy. And for me, it was almost like a little bit of a delayed reaction of the energy, but I saw all sorts of little things in the skull that I guess were to help us to know that these things exist.
Well, we'll hold up your skull and just talk about how you work with that a little bit, okay?
It's heavy.
It's heavy, I know, it's
It's
heavy.
solid. It's even been X-rayed by, I can't remember.
It's solid what? Solid jade?
It's jadeite. See, it's really heavy. It's like 12 pounds or something, but it's so solid. And we're about
Yeah,
the
you
same
have,
size.
you have a great story of how you actually got it, right? I
It's all
mean,
the different Yeah, there's a whole story of how it spoke to me after I
Well,
had been in
well let's see it. Did we see it?
hold on, hold on a second.
No, I want to show. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
There he
Okay.
is.
So, and this actually, it's a vehicle of consciousness. So, but someone created this, but you're still. Tell me how you work with this. So tell me.
I'm just gonna put it down until I
Yeah,
have it.
put it down.
I'll have it more available to see the whole time during
Right,
the.
right. It's a
Um,
beautiful skull, really. So how?
yeah, and it's interesting. Just another piece of info. It's interesting because it has like an elongated um, crown,
Yeah.
and not all of them look the same. And um, so this one I think also might have some things around like Egyptian or African kind of stuff. But I went to Tikal, Mexico, not Mexico, Guatemala with my
Yeah.
husband, and we were climbing pyramids and all that. And I got on the top of one, and I asked that I connect to ancient crystal skull. If I'm meant to have an ancient crystal skull, because I was already working with Max for all these years, which is another skull. Um,
Right.
and so nothing major happened there. It was an interesting experience just being there, but we were in the middle of nowhere in the jungles. And then we left to go back to Cancun to go home. We had like 2 days because it was the only way to get home before we can get to New York.
Yeah.
So we went to a shopping mall. There was nothing to do because it was raining out. So I got to the door of the shopping mall, and all of a sudden I hear this something talking to me, which is not unusual for me. But and it was saying, come over here, take me home, follow me. I'll get you there. Just follow the directions that I'm giving you." So I said to my husband, "Will you do this with me? It's it's just whatever." Another thing now that's coming up that's odd. So I went through the entire mall, going back and forth all around to this. Turned out we were eventually standing in front of sort of a high-end jewelry store. It had, but made out of crystals, but it was very high-end. And in the part where you first walk in, this was right there, sitting there
Well,
looking at me.
and it spoke to you.
Well, it was already speaking to me. I didn't even know what I was in for. And then I put my hands on the top of its head, and it said, "If you take me home," it said, take me home," like as if it just wanted to jump in with me and have him leave there. So it kept telling me that I needed to take it home with me. And it said, "If you take me home, I'll work with you and everyone else, anything to do with the heart center, love, relationships, um, anything, even passion and purpose." And
And you
so
did take it home, and that's what you've been doing.
that's what I've been doing. But I was doing my work before that, but it awakened me into a whole other part of it. And a lot of my work, I was told before the skulls, was that it's about opening the portals or the gateway to the multidimensional heart. So
Wow.
this skull didn't. I mean, I didn't tell it first. It told me that I'm going to be working with the heart center and all that kind of stuff. So and
Well, no, it's great. I mean, save some for the conference. Jodi, Serota, and the Green Skull, Greenie, is going to be part of this upcoming weekend event. Let me find it. I just had it online somewhere. Yes, this Portal to Ascension event. Where there's the Green Skull right there with Jodi. Greenie, you call it. And then there's some other fantastic skulls here. Do you know any of these other skulls?
yeah, there's one of
Um,
them. It's that really big one. Is that one in it?
Oh, the Einstein skull. That's going to be there. I don't see it here on the picture. This skull down here, you see it says Heart Star.
Yeah.
That is a Tibetan crystal skull. It's probably the oldest skull I've ever seen, and it has this really ancient feeling to it. So
Yeah,
that's
I spoke to Nick Nocerino, who passed, but he was someone he had huge skulls, big, huge ones. I went to see him in California, and he's the one who came up with an idea that at some point, that I think it was 12 or then 13 skulls would come together, and at that point in time, it would shift our history and bring us into the present, going into the new earth.
well, maybe this is the time, even though they're not physically together on this online conference, they might be
They think the
energetically.
energy is coming to bring us all together, which is much needed now. So,
So go to Crystal Skull Conference, crystalskullsconference.com. I'll put this in the chat, into the description. Be part of this weekend, October 26th to 27th. Sign up at portal2ascension.com. And I think it's going to be a fantastic gathering if you've never experienced, and if you have your own skull, talk about that. If you have a skull, being in the presence of another skull energizes it. Just describe that.
they download information to each other. And also for me, when I connected to Max, the ancient crystal skull, I had worked with that one for years. I went into light languages, and then there is information that they gave me about. I'll tell it at the conference, in relation to the star systems and the energies of these light languages that come from that, and how that was interconnected for me, but also for all of us.
Will it work, you think, even though it's online? So if, let's say, I have my little skull here.
Yeah.
Will it
Bring your skulls. It definitely connects to everyone and everything. And I'm going to do some activations and things. So you'll be carrying them yourselves, but also if you have some crystal skulls.
Okay, definitely bring your skulls. Come to the event, October 26th to 27th. These are like major skulls. I'm going to talk to Bill Holman soon, who has the Mitchell Hedges skull. Thanks, Jodi, for taking a little time to be here today.
Thank you. Just show you Greenie one more time. Make sure to see him.
It looks so new and clean, but it's ancient too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it looks.
it's definitely when I took it to Nick Nocerino, he said it was definitely an ancient skull, an ancient carving. But he said the big thing about it's so really heavy. The thing about this is that it was what did he say? He said that it was an unusual piece, very unusual piece, because it's pretty big, and it's solid and everything. And he said that it's not, in order for them to carve jadeite, he said they don't usually find jadeite that large, so it must have been from a much bigger piece of stone.
Wow. So, I mean, I've been around Greenie and all this. I mean, I do feel a connection. And so, if you're around, come to this event. If you have time here with the online Crystal Skull event, October 26th to 27th, and you can register right there, crystalskullsconference.com. Thanks, Jodi. I'm going to sign out here, and I'll be in touch. Thanks for your time.
Hope to see you all. Bye.
Yes, definitely good to see everyone. Okay, here we go. I'm going to stop sharing and see you again. Thanks. I'll remove and tune in.